Hello, my name is Zoltan. I am 63, Canadian, living in Canada and in Europe.
So, how is your situation with women?
Well, my previous situation is there was no situation. There was very few women interacting with me, and I was not very interactive with them as well. But now that's changing. Now it's changing.
Okay. And what made you put women aside all these years?
Just work. You know, it was nothing else going on in my life aside from, work and earning money. And, so everything goes to the aside, not only women, but everything else that goes on, in people's lives. But, that's probably the most important thing. And I just put it aside and just focused on work.
Okay, but do you feel like having money and focusing on your career helped you with women?
No, not at all. Not at all. No. Other way. It made it worse.
How come you have decided to do this coaching now?
It was just a timing thing. I am in Europe right now. Dan is here as well in Zagreb. So I just, I follow him on his social media, saw that he was going to be around Europe, and I decided I would try and go to one of his smaller seminars, made the call, and here I am.
Okay. How was your coaching with Dan? Tell us about this.
Well, Dan is, of all the other coaches that I've had, about 4 or 5, there is really no comparison. With the other coaches, it's more, okay, you need to do these things, go say this particular thing to this woman and that, in this situation. But with Dan, he has many tools that he has at his disposal. One of them is creating a personal AI developed specifically for me.
Wow.
So that I can, if I live in a very remote place in Canada, and it's good. I'll have plenty of time to practice with the AI. It will evaluate me, and I'll be able to take those evaluations, make improvements, so that that when I return to Europe or I have more of a social life, I can use those to help me connect with women and have more interactions with them that are more I don't want to say productive, but that may lead to something more efficient. That may lead to something more. So, honestly, I can't really compare Dan to other coaches. He's just far. He's in another league. There we go. I'll just say that he's in another league.
Okay, you chose 10 days of coaching, one-on-one. Why?
That was on Ilya's advice, his recommendation, because of kind of my situation, how I am, where I am, and age-wise. A boot camp probably wouldn't be the best for me to be in this group situation and, going to nightclubs and, doing that kind of thing. So he suggested a more direct, a more, concentrated program, and he suggested Dan's program for 10 days, and I signed up.
Great. So since you already worked with the other coaches, how would you compare Dan and these other?
Oh, well, like I said earlier, he's really in another league. He's just, he has a, I could say genius mind. I think that's pretty close to what it is. He's been able to take technology that's available to anybody, really, but he's just taken it to a point where it's specific and direct, and he can make it specific and direct for a specific person like myself with a specific problem. And as I've learned, Dan is a problem solver.
Problem solver.
He's a problem solver.
Amazing. Yeah. Can you describe us one day of your coaching with Dan? How does this look like?
Well, we get out. It's not too early. Afternoon is spent. Generally, in the afternoon, we are together. Dan doesn't have a script or anything that he has. It's all in his head, and he just starts off where, like our first meeting, right away we started talking about, instead of going out chasing women or approaching women on the street or doing that, why don't we bring the women to you? You know, so we started talking about creating attraction without having to go out and do all of this work. Why not make it, you know, simple? Why not create something where women are coming to you? So right off the bat, that was our first day that we talked about that, and it just you know, what's the next thing we can do? You know, the next day, you know, then excuse me, Dan developed the AI. So when I am back at my apartment, at my flat, I'm sitting down and I'm practicing with the AI. Meanwhile, Dan is developing it even more. Next day, he's added a feature to the AI. You know, so it's in between all of that, we are talking about other things that have blocked me, you know, from, you know, having any success with women. You know, and so it's, you know, what's my style? Of course, Vedrana is there as well to help out. She's very helpful when it comes to style, giving me little warm suggestions as well. So, you know, I could go on and on. All I say is that every day is focused. You know, we talk about certain things. You know, I have my notebook full of notes. I have my little cards to practice with for, you know, a spontaneous conversation. How to, you know, the whole flow of connecting, you know, the ping pong effect of when you're communicating with somebody, not to get stuck on what do I say next? No, that is all addressed, and now it's, I mean, I still need to practice a little bit, that's what the AI is for, but to have this with Dan right there beside me, I mean, the pressure's on a little bit because he's there, but I was able to have conversations with Dan in a smooth and, you know, effortless, you know, discussion instead of ums, ers, ahs, what do I say? No, after Dan, after a couple of days practicing with Dan, it's just nice. You kind of look forward to, I wonder what we're going to talk about today, and ease of conversation. Now I just have to take what I've learned with Dan, and when I have conversations with women, or anybody for that matter, I can have these nice free-flowing conversations because I'm not stuck to say whatever I need to say. I can look for the environment or the situation and build on that. So so all my conversations now will be much more, you know, free-flowing.
Amazing, thank you. Okay, besides coaching, what else have you done with Dan during this time?
Well, in one afternoon, we sat down and Dan had a look at my Tinder profile as well as the Instagram, but we focused on the Tinder. And we changed the profile completely. Added some text that he came up with his AI, and then we uploaded the photographs that he took of me. That's another thing. Dan is very creative, fantastic photographer, professional, unbelievable. And we uploaded those photographs, and almost, you know, it didn't take long, and the matches started coming in, and we pretty much spent a couple hours, 2-3 hours in the afternoon just dealing with the matches that were coming up. And texting. Mm-hmm. Dan's genius again, using some AI and already have a date now for Friday. So and that's years, weeks, months of me on my own using these apps to try and meet women, and here I am with Dan. A few hours, some nice photos that he took, as well as some well thought out text, and I have dates.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.